This is a stick-up. This man is being robbed. In most types of crime, the criminal takes your money by pointing a gun or hitting you over the head. But in consumer fraud, the criminal must persuade you to voluntarily go along. To become a consumer fraud victim, you have to agree to be robbed.
I went along with them all the time.
They knew what chains to pull. They knew what would excite me.
He was such a gentleman and he had such a nice voice and really sold me on it.
Whether it's over the phone, at your door, over the internet, or through the mail, hucksters take more than $40 billion a year from their victims.
How much money did you lose?
$300,000.
At least $40,000.
Then I sent $2,000. Then I sent $3,000.
I just whipped out my checkbook and wrote a check for $20,000.
What makes a person write a check to a criminal who may be thousands of miles away?
These tactics are so powerful. They use them with such intensity that it is difficult to say no.
Anthony Pratkanis is a professor of psychology at the University of California. He's a leading researcher and author on the science of persuasion. The research conducted by Dr. Pratkanis and his colleagues has identified common psychological tactics that con artists use in their scams. These strategies tap into our deepest emotional needs. Some of the most common are phantom fixation. The criminal invents a prize or reward. The chance to win is so attractive and compelling that you ignore your own good judgment. Social proof. If everyone agrees, it must be good. Authority. The person or company pitching you is someone to be trusted. Scarcity. If you don't take this deal, you'll lose out and never get another chance. These strategies are also used by legitimate businesses to sell their products. Once you learn these psychological tactics, you'll see them all around you. They're the foundation of modern advertising. But in the hands of con artists, this knowledge is a powerful weapon for fraud. Joe Sherman lost most of his life savings to a direct mail marketing scam. Millions of Americans open envelopes like this every day, mailings that imply that you've won or are about to win a sweepstakes prize. All you have to do is buy something. Magazines, household items, whatever. Joe bought into one company's fraudulent program. For 7 years, he placed orders 2 or 3 times a week and filled his house with mail order items.
Filling up the basement with boxes, stuff I couldn't use, stuff I couldn't give away practically.
While Joe's collection of trinkets was growing, his nest egg was rapidly shrinking. Joe was spending big money.
At least $40,000. At least that. Because the checking account was $49,000 when I started out, and I ended up with about 4 or 5 at the most. So it all went down the drain to those people.
Joe had fallen prey to phantom fixation. He'd become obsessed with seeing his name on the big check.
A phantom is something that you'd like, but is completely unavailable. And that phantom is dangling out there for you.
The phantom is most often a prize or reward that's so great you can't help but want it.
And you start dreaming about it, you start desiring it, you start salivating. This is what you want. It's human.
I thought I'd win a prize. I thought, sure as heck I would win a prize, but
The swindler wants to focus attention away from reality and create a compelling illusion for the victim. With his advancing age, Joe felt he didn't have many shots left at the brass ring. Even as he lost month after month, he believed buying into the sweepstakes was his best and maybe only chance to hit the jackpot. This last chance mentality is one variation of the scarcity pitch. Scarcity also works to inflate the perceived value of scams and to put time pressure on the victim to make a decision.
And you play every hand.
For over 10 years, conman Stephen Michaels ran a gold coin scam where he sold coins for hundreds of times their real value. He used phony scarcity to inflate the price.
Now, John, back in 1860 from the Philadelphia Mint, there were 22,675 of these coins minted. Of those 22,000, only 4 have survived. Only 4! For God's sakes, just 4 remain at this grade.
Notice what it does. It tells your mind it's scarce, it's rare, must be valuable, and it tells your gut, panic. If you don't get that coin, you are going to be out a great deal.
In that presentation, the coin was being sold to the victim for $3,100. The real value of the coin was about $300.
The tactic of authority is a strong persuader in many scams. The con artist wants to appear to be someone you can trust.
I'd be on the phone with the victim, purporting to be the president of a bank, and in all actuality, I'm at a payphone craving cocaine.
Bart Chamberlain is a convicted telephone con man. Over the years, he claimed to be various vice presidents, bank managers, even FBI agents.
And because he set up the authority from the start with all the trappings, all the fancy titles, he's able to then rely on that to tell the person what to do.
I'm with American Recovery here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The reason for the call, sir, through action from the U.S. Attorney's Office in conjunction with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, subsequent seizures of property and auctions therein. I guess the reason they followed the instructions is because they thought that they were talking to someone in authority, a bank president, an executive vice president of a big corporation, a U.S. attorney, an FBI agent, whoever it was a person in a position of authority. And they didn't, if they believed that I was who I said I was, and they would act accordingly.
Chamberlain would take on any role he could think of to help him make his scams more believable.
Congratulations, you've walked away with the biggest award we've ever given away. Charlie Miller here, Executive Vice President of Principal Marketing. I want to congratulate you personally on your award. Mr. Jones, my last name is Jones too. I'm Mr. Robert Jones from Mobile, Alabama. I'll be coming out to your house personally to take photographs of you. Congratulations.
Even jail walls didn't stop Chamberlain from projecting authority. After his arrest, he used his telephone privileges to make more calls from payphones inside the jail.
The $20,000 I told you about, I did it while I was in custody.
How did that work? That's tricky, isn't it?
Well, basically, I called the gentleman up, collect. I told him I was on my weekend warrior duty as a U.S. Marshal at the local jail. Mr. Jones, this is Jim O'Neill here. I'm calling you collect down from the county jail. I'm down here this weekend doing my weekend warrior duty as a U.S. Marshal. The reason for the call and the urgency that necessitated I call you over the weekend collect is that I've spoken to our corporate headquarters out in New York and our accounting firm in Los Angeles, and it's my great pleasure to let you know that by next Tuesday or Wednesday, you will in fact receive your cashier's check for $225,000. Now, there is one final amount of business that I have confirmed through our general accounting office in Los Angeles. I want you to write this down. We are going to need you to go ahead and send out $20,000 to cover you for everything that prior to this point has been overlooked. I had him send $20,000 in cashier's checks to a third party who from there handled it for me.
A scam artist, the economic fraud criminal, will take any role they need to take to get you in a role to do exactly what they want.
Authority is also projected in the sophisticated mailers sent out by scammers. The mailings look very official, very real with their certificates and seals. Typically, they'll also contain the element of social proof, the idea that other people are doing this and winning. Joe Sherman saw this list of winners.
It made me feel good because I could see other people winning. Why, I thought maybe I could win once.
Social proof is a simple rule that we have in our head. If everybody agrees, it must be good.
When seen from the outside, these tactics are easy to spot. So how do victims lose their life savings to scams?
When people say, I wouldn't fall prey to that, they're not inside the situation. They're not on the phone. They're not having their emotions played with, their thoughts manipulated. And so they see it from the outside and say, oh, that's a ploy. But on the inside, it doesn't feel like a ploy. It feels special. It feels like I'm making an important step in my life. It feels like I'm about ready to win a prize. It feels like I'm about ready to get a great investment.
I wanted to keep you under the ether. And I knew that one day you were going to come out from under the ether. And so I would want to try to load you too soon and too often.
Successful persuasion isn't limited to these 4 tactics. Briefly, here are 4 more to watch out for. Reciprocity. The scammer will offer you something like a small free gift or a free analysis of your investment portfolio. The criminal is hoping you'll then feel an obligation to him. Another tactic is similarity. The criminal will pretend to share your values and experiences in the hope that you'll think of him as a friend. Consistency. The criminal traps you with your own words. For example, if you agree you need a balanced investment portfolio, the con man will say that his product provides such balance. You can't say no without feeling like a hypocrite. Contrast. The criminal contrasts their offer against a much higher value. It seems like you're getting a great deal. How do criminals know what will work on us? Since these strategies work both alone and in combination, frauds often use a barrage of tactics. Ever wonder why direct mail envelopes are so full? They're stuffed with as many different persuasion elements as the senders can think of. Here's phantom fixation. Here's social proof. Here's scarcity. On the phone, con artists will essentially interview you to find your weak spot.
I ask them many personal questions about themselves that I have no business asking and they have no business answering. But if they do, they're telling me once again that they are someone who can be controlled. I'll ask them about their finances. I'll ask them about their marriage. I'll ask them about their family. Because what I try to do when I have a victim on the phone, I try to find their emotional Achilles heel. And once I do, it enables me to use their weakness against them.
The next time you're tempted by a sales pitch, take a minute.
And start looking for some warning signs. Are they being an authority to you?
If you don't want to make up your mind right now, that's where I come in. I will make up your mind for you.
Are they being overly friendly to you?
I tell you, my gosh, we're very, very excited. Everybody here is shouting your name. We're very, very excited for you.
Are they asking you for lots of information?
John, which major credit cards do you work with?
Are they panicking you through scarcity?
Just 4 remain at this grade.
The best defense we have against the weapons of fraud is awareness. When you understand how criminals try to manipulate you, their power against you vanishes.